Stop chasing applause and start addressing your programs and fixing patient problems. If the market research that you run to understand the value and efficacy of your patient advocacy function is only focused on that which you do, if it's only focused on your specific programs and the success through the eyes of a very specific customer set, are you really doing yourself any favors? Are you really winning? Better yet, do you think the rest of your company thinks that you're performing as well as your metrics might say you are? I'm here to tell you, it just does not work long term. It's going to catch up. Why don't you switch and come on over to the Elevate report? You see, when you broaden the research that you're doing and seek insights from groups that have worked with you and those that have worked with other companies on similar programs, you can learn more about what your customers really want, not just what you were willing to give them or what you might be able to adjust internally based off what you're willing to give them. It's really all about what does the patient need? What does the patient advocacy organization need? What does the professional society need? What does the community-based organization need? And there's no better way to get that through the Elevate report. Elevate advocacy intelligence is really that. What is the intelligence coming out of your customers in advocacy? And what's it saying about you, your programs, and the opportunities for more for both yourselves and the patients? Maybe your organization purchases Patient View. Look, I think the patient review report can be a good report, but you and I both know that corporate reputation is not the only metric of a successful patient advocacy function. It's a metric. It's a metric of the Elevate report, but it's not the only metric. We also know that corporate reputation means a lot of things that have nothing to do with advocacy. In fact, your corporate reputation score may be impacted by your drugs pricing or your patient access programs, both elements that you have no control over when it comes to patient advocacy. That's why we do our report the way that we do our report, focusing on only those elements that are under the control of the patient advocacy function. And that's why we've broadened our metrics to not just look at corporate reputation, but to take the holistic view on all of the ways that the patient advocacy function acts and engages with the community to ensure that we have a holistic view of what is needed, what you're doing, the success or lack of in your efforts, and more importantly, what you can do to be better. Listen, I've been doing this for 11 years and I've heard it all. I've heard companies tell me, listen, I love your data, but I don't think I can bring that into my company. You see, I've been telling our leaders that we're one of the best when it comes to patient advocacy, and they believe it. And your research is telling me that we're not even in the top 10, or maybe we're outside of the top 5. You see, we hear this all the time because internal research has what's called the halo effect. When you are the company that is writing the checks or supporting a patient advocacy organization or supporting their patients, and you're also the company that's asking them for feedback on the performance of your work, you're only going to get great feedback. Patient advocates are very hesitant to be negative, even though that research may claim to be blinded. They're very, very hesitant to provide negative feedback to an organization that has helped them keep the lights on. That's why we created Elevate in the first place. Let's be your one-stop shop for all of the data that you need in a double-blinded, meaning the advocates that are responding don't know who's going to see the data. And then you in industry don't know who said what when it comes to the results coming back on your company. Let us be that third party that parses through the data, that brings the 11 years of experience of doing this research to the table and helps you to understand not just did we look good in this snapshot in time, but how have we looked over time? What are the issues within our own company that we may be blind to, but others are doing differently? What are the issues that we're unaware of because we've only been looking at research from an internal perspective? Let us bring to you both the quantitative and qualitative assessments of your competitor or comparator organizations so that you know not just what you may be doing well, but what are they doing well? What might you have to think about doing differently? How might you be able to learn from other organizations in the way that they tackle advocacy issues and health equity and social determinant of health issues? Get out of your bubble. We know it's nice and sunny and everything looks great in your bubble, but check into reality. Get the truth. Get to the bottom of what your customers really want to tell you, but maybe haven't felt comfortable to do so. We actually were able to witness this on full display and working with a mid-sized pharmaceutical company in which their own organization took the time to rank organizations based off of their patient view report. What was their score? What was their publicly disclosed amount of money spent on the patient advocacy efforts? And it was a perfect conjunction between those two spends. The more you spent, the higher your metrics were in that patient voice report. That might be the way that you evaluate advocacy, but that's not the way that I do. You see, I know, especially for small and mid-sized pharma and biotech companies, that you do not control your budget. But most of you can punch way above your weight when it comes to doing more than your budget may allow at a larger company. You're able to serve at a closer level. You're able to partner deeper. You're able to truly bring that patient voice into your company, not just when marketing wants it, but when you know it should be there. That's the value of the Elevate report. The opportunity to truly separate the funding from the action, separate the money being spent on the action from the outcomes, understanding the desires of your customers rather than just what you think you should measure. Get the full picture. Come on over to Elevate today.